So everyone, it's been another stellar year for the city of Gallatin, and though I don't have anything like the eclipse or the nicest place in America to talk to you about this tonight, we do have a lot to talk about. And I'm going to begin with what I think is the biggest takeaway from this past year, and that is that investment in our city is reaping a return. You see, for much of my adult life, and certainly in my first years as mayor, the idea of the city kind of transforming into a larger place was frankly a bit of an abstract. Now the puzzle pieces are falling into place, and we're beginning to see the picture take shape. We see it every day in the form of new buildings, new houses, and yes, the smiling new faces on our streets. So we're going to talk about growth. Right now, I know it's a little scary to most people, I think. It's a little scary to me. I, like most of you, fear the wave of building and people and traffic. And like you, the apartments can be really frightening. I hear a lot of feedback on these issues, and often I hear words that I myself have said prior to my term in office. Since 2015, the city of Gallatin has grown an estimated 15%, and that's a lot of growth. To think that just a few years ago, several of us who are in this room tonight were gathering together trying to come up with ideas to attract people to our city. Now we just want people to visit, spend their money, and go back home. But growth does have its positive side. Here are some thoughts from some of our friends and neighbors who are also investors in Gallatin.
You know, everyone tells us where are all these people going to eat, and we just laugh and say we don't know. We are building as fast as we can. Every day that it rains, we just shake our heads and go, man, please go away.
And it can be sort of a bad word, if you will, when people think about, well, I want things to stay the same. You're going to take away from the beauty.
Oh, you know, it takes me a minute or two longer to get to work every day because of the growth. But you're either growing or you're dying.
You know, we needed, Class A type office space, really nice office space. There wasn't any in Gallatin.
When I moved here, I started noticing a need for hotels. It looked like there hadn't been a new hotel here in, 15 years. So they had a lot of older product, and I feel like the demand is really here now.
And some of the neighbors that live just behind here were concerned that it wasn't going to be as aesthetic. It wasn't going to be as complimentary to the area.
Gallatin is not going to look the same in 5 or 10 years. We are going to grow. We have got a lot of runway ahead of us.
Basically, I see Gallatin going as far as Gallatin city limits can take us towards Hendersonville.
We want it to definitely complement the area of Fairview, be something that they'll be, when they drive by, they'll smile and say, hey, she did a good job there. I don't want them to go, oh no, what was she thinking?
A lot of outside developers are seeing the growth that's happening here. And with that, of course, comes money from outside. And they're really looking at these smaller markets to start attacking and investing into, because the growth from Nashville is going to go anywhere but out.
Because our common goal is to just open up space, get retail in, get restaurants in, and see the green space turn into working space for the people around here.
So you want the growth, and you want to take it when you can get it, because it will adjust at some other period of time, and you won't have the velocity of activity that you do now. So you just got to enjoy it while you can.
So growth is our reality, and stopping it would be dangerous for our individual futures, but it would be disastrous for the future of our city. The key is managing that growth the best ways that we can. I always like to think in terms of what in this city makes Gallatin appealing to future generations. Because when Gallatin starts to lose that appeal to younger generations, that's when our city starts to decline. That's when the population ages, the jobs are lost, businesses close, taxes rise, property values decrease, and that's not a pretty picture. In fact, you can probably ask some of your neighbors about it because they've lived in that exact same scenario, and that's why they've moved to Middle Tennessee. Slow, steady growth, which is what we're going to have after this boom is over with, is what's valuable and what we want for long-term prosperity for the city. So here's more about the positive side of growth. Today, our county's median income is 13% higher than Tennessee's, and that wasn't always the case for Gallatin or Sumner County. And rooftops bring amenities to our city. Gallatin is very close to that population point where we'll attract restaurants and retail that our citizens have wanted for decades. You're about to see a transition from the residential development that is happening to the commercial development that you've desired. Of course, that means more revenue for our city, which keeps your tax burden low. Just to give you an idea of the opportunity that is before us, of how much retail could help our city, this is the current sales leakage from Gallatin, meaning the amount of money that our citizens are spending on purchases they make in other communities. Overall, we have the potential retail sales of over $2.5 billion, but are only realizing about $650 million. That's a whole lot of loss, but I think you'll see that start to change very soon. There's also much effort underway to make sure that Gallatin grows responsibly, that infrastructure is in place, and that we're not overwhelmed. That is a huge responsibility that I assure you the leadership takes very seriously. We know we want to preserve Gallatin's character, and we've worked hard to plant seeds of good development. Our image, our infrastructure, our marketing, our accounting, our technology, all of that matters. We've created a long-term vision, and we believe that Gallatin is aligning itself to be not only the nicest place in America, but the absolute best place to live, work, raise a family, and have an amazing quality of life. But to show you just how much we have grown, here are some building permit numbers from the last year. We've had 538 new homes permitted and 37 new commercial buildings. The total number of permits issued is over 12,500 with an impressive value of over $262 million. Does that give you an idea of how busy our building department has been? Some of what's happened in the last year has been in the works for years, but you've only recently seen to see it take shape. Hilton Garden is going to open soon. Sleep Inn won't be far behind. The Vintage at Foxland, Chandler Park, Mariners Cove, Foxland Harbor, the Revere, Patterson Farm, the Edison at Paytona, and the Residences of Gallatin, and more. There's a lot of housing coming into our community and some commercial as well. And I know you're thinking, yes, but that's a lot of apartments too. But for all of our peace of mind, we're projecting that multifamily homes will only be 23% of all the homes in our city, leaving 77% of single-family homes, which is very comparable and in some cases lower than other similar communities. In exploring this issue, which we have done diligently, we believe that we've pretty much met the demand of multifamily rental housing in our community for a while, and I don't anticipate that we'll see any new ones anytime soon. And while we're not yet at the pinnacle of where we will be, other business in Gallatin is really thriving too. Together with the Gallatin Chamber, we've had plenty of groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, many for new businesses, and several for expansions, additions, and improvements. Soon, Gallatin will be home to a new Honda dealership and a new Subaru. And to give you an idea of that value for our city, sales tax from these alone could potentially pay for half of our firefighters' salaries at our new fire hall, which we're going to be talking more about later. The American Job Center, which has been for a while a great resource for our area, has opened a new, beautiful center on Greenlee. And Gap, which is our city's largest employer, completed a huge new expansion this year. Axum, a business that was under construction at this time last year, is now open. Axum is a gun parts manufacturer glad to be in production and loving their decision to move to Gallatin.
We built this building in 9 months. It was pretty rapid. The move to Gallatin has really enabled us to do what we're doing here today. We've built this new facility. We've expanded our operation. We've got plenty of room to grow now. I do feel like we're here at the ground floor. There's a lot of growth going on right now in Gallatin in all sectors, and so to be in the middle of that and to know that we're contributing to that by bringing jobs and by employing the automation and the technology that we're bringing into Gallatin, I feel like we're a part of that growth as well.
There have also been some tremendously positive developments on the healthcare front, which come with great opportunities for high-paying jobs and more choices for medical services right here at home. St. Thomas Medical Center's new facility is shiny and new. It's offering our residents access to their system right here in Gallatin on Greenlee Boulevard. Our beloved hometown provider, Sumner Regional Medical Center, continues to grow and invest in our community. The new emergency department at Station Camp has been well received and much appreciated, and the new addition of the cardiac cath lab was celebrated earlier this year. The long-awaited Veterans Clinic on Steam Plant will be Sumner County's first VA clinic and a much more convenient option for many people not just in our city, but throughout our region. And finally, Gallatin's oldest business, which is also healthcare related, expanded its offerings with a beautiful new location off of Greenlee, taking their 120 plus years of great personal care to the west side of Gallatin.
It's gone great. It's been more difficult, I think, with anybody that's trying to build any kind of development would say. We've had a great reaction from the community. They've been watching it, so it's been exciting because folks have been coming by and they said, we're seeing where your building is up, and now your doors are in, and your sign is up, and so they've seen that process. And again, going back to the history of Perkins, a lot of people in Gallatin know about Perkins. A lot of people don't. There's still a number of people who don't know about Gallatin because they're new. They're transplants from out of town. They're moving out to the suburbs and looking for, a golf course to live on or near the lake. And because of the movement, because of the development, the growth, all the families that are coming to this area, the population numbers now and what they're projected to be over the next 5 to 10 years are tremendous. This development in particular was built with that in mind.
On the educational front, our local colleges are sharing in the success story of the past year. Here at Volunteer State Community College, they hit a milestone with an all-time record enrollment of 9,156 students. Much of that is attributed to the popular Tennessee Reconnect program, providing opportunities for adults who don't have a degree. And Vol State will break ground this Friday on the renovation of the J. Howard Wharf Math and Science Building. This $6.2 million building will add science labs, a computer lab, and a new location for the already very popular new mechatronics program. Our still new Welch College was named the 13th best regional college in the South in U.S. News & World Report's Best College Rankings. Welch had the 5th highest rating of all the colleges and universities in Tennessee in the Best Value category, which combines quality and price. And their enrollment at their new location in Gallatin is Welch's highest in 33 years. I can't express how valuable our educational partners are to the development of our city, as they're an incredible resource and support not only to our citizens but to our businesses. Our Economic Development Agency remains busy, still working to attract high-quality, high-wage jobs to Gallatin. Remember, our city's daytime population actually grows by more than 7,000 people each day, and that's a very powerful position for us and part of why attracting jobs remains a top priority. This past year, the EDA applied for and received a grant to clear 2 industrial sites to make them shovel-ready and are now utilizing 3D maps, something that makes Gallatin stand out as a potential place to move operations. In recent years, EDA has also expanded their efforts so that there's a new focus on retail attraction. We believe that our attention to and investment in both industrial expansion and retention and retail attraction will be paying some very high dividends soon, so stay tuned for that. And this year, a new partner came to the table, Startup Gallatin, a program for entrepreneurs. Already a session has been completed and some new businesses have opened. Congratulations and thank you to Clay Haynes, Kim Baker, Donna Belote, and all of the participants and volunteers who made this program happen. We love this new emphasis on building entrepreneurship in Gallatin. Switching gears now. What's Gallatin doing to make our city better? Well, a whole lot, actually, and I'm really proud of that. From opportunities in our parks and access for all citizens to public safety and community beautification to engagement of residents, we're covering many bases. We'll start with what's always a top priority for us, public safety.
Gallatin police, they're boots on the ground in the war on opioids, and when somebody...
With more people, the city's responsibility to keep life and property safe has more challenges. We've seen an increase in crime, but not an alarming one. In fact, if people would lock their car doors, our numbers would decrease significantly. I'm proud to share that the Gallatin Police Department is proactive, has kept our crime rates low, our serious crimes almost obsolete, and has an excellent closure rate on solving crime. Our department is one of the best anywhere, and that is routinely attested to by the certifications that they receive and the awards that they earn. Our Gallatin Police Chief, Don Bandy, was named the Tennessee Police Chief of the Year. Our Gallatin K-9 again won top honors, and Officer Katie Hope was named the American Legion's Officer of the Year, and that's just a sampling. At the Gallatin Fire Department, we can tell a similar story. We're so glad that our incidents of fire continue to decrease. However, the services that this agency provides are increasing in number and in level of service. 35 members of that department are now emergency medical technicians, meaning that they can provide better aid to those who have an acute medical need. The department also has hazardous waste materials specialists and continues to work its fire reduction efforts, which range from a battery of educational programs and outreach efforts to installing smoke detectors in higher risk areas of our city. And we continue to improve. Our Gallatin Fire Department will soon hire 15 new firefighters through our recently awarded SAFER grant to staff the brand new fire hall, which is getting close to opening in the Nichols Lane area.
Okay, currently we're standing right in the day room of our fire station number 5, located at 2416 Nichols Lane. This station here is going to house 7 firefighters and 2 EMS workers.
And it'll help serve the southern Gallatin City area and also the Lock 4 area, the 109 South area. But the whole idea is to be closer to the citizens we serve. And I think we all know the southern arc of this city is growing. You just have to look right over there and you see all these new homes going up. They're going to be our neighbors we're going to be able to serve.
So we're really confident with our ability to better serve the community by having this fire station added to our stations throughout the community.
GFD has also recently ordered 2 new vehicles, a fire truck and a new rescue truck. And our Gallatin Police Department has installed 21 new park cameras and is utilizing a mobile solar camera this year. Together, police, fire, and utilities have worked to purchase and put into place a brand new $1 million radio communications tower that will help ensure safe communications in an area of our city that has proved challenging in recent years. The city has also recently subscribed to Code Red so that our citizens can sign up for this widely known emergency notification system and be alerted when a threat arises. Also important for our safety are the building codes and the enforcement of those codes. In fact, our building official, Chuck Stewart, says that he wants to put the fire department out of business. The city's just adopted the 2018 codes as our building standards, keeping our buildings safe and making them more energy efficient than ever before. Our building department has made many changes over the years to better serve and protect our community, and its efforts are visible. Obviously, traffic and congestion are a hot topic, but they're a major concern and a huge focus for our city as well. Several new roads will soon impact our community. We anticipate that we will finally, and yeah, I know you've heard this before, but I promise, Albert Gallatin will begin construction in 2019. The airport road relocation is getting closer to complete, and yes, it's also had a few hiccups, and the Nichols Lane project, extending it to Driver's Lane, is underway. And our intelligent traffic system improvement will happen next year as well. This happens with the signal coordination, and it is guaranteed to make our traffic run more smoothly in Gallatin. Several road improvements to ease congestion are also planned or underway. And there are lots of plans in the works for pedestrian access, including sidewalks and what should soon be some very highly utilized, very safe crossings right here in the Volunteer State Community College area. Of course, transportation infrastructure is not the only infrastructure of concern or that our city is investing in. Our IT department has several new ventures with the focus of serving our public better while making internal processes smoother, more efficient, and accurate. Currently, use of a new plan review software is being implemented. This software allows multiple departments to have input into new plans when they're submitted to our city. On the investor side, this allows for license applications and payments online and real-time updates of statuses. Eventually, citizens will be able to access all of our planning files for their reference. This is also an important step towards digitizing the records of the city. The city is also beginning the utilization of an intranet called SharePoint that is a central place for employees to find services and events while being able to share files, receive training, access forms, track projects, and work together on ideas. And just recently, we started using Skype video conferencing to improve efficiency, and already our Gallatin Fire Department has been using it for interviews. As a city who owns its own utilities, which is a great asset for anyone who lives here and a major attraction for those who consider investing here, utility infrastructure is extremely important. We're very fortunate to have abundant capacity here and the forward-thinking leaders in our utility departments that have allowed us to stay ahead of the growth and financially stable at the same time. The Gallatin Department of Electricity has not only been working on expanding their system, increasing its redundancy and backup capabilities, and converting our existing streetlights to LED, they're also beginning a fiber installation that will help their transition to automated meters and our coordinated traffic signalization project. This year, a new substation inside the Gallatin Industrial Park was completed, and coming soon, there'll be a new transmission line from the east substation on Steam Plant Road to the city substation on Jones Street. I do want to advise you that there is an increase in rates this year, beginning this month. It's an average of 2.18%, but 1.5% of that is a TVA wholesale rate increase. GDE remains one of the 10 lowest electric rates within all of TVA's service area and has the lowest rate of all of the Middle Tennessee electric systems. Our Gallatin Public Utilities has made tremendous investments in its system as well. Improvements include $2.2 million in gas and service lines, a $6.9 million automated metering system for water and gas, which will go online next summer, a new sewer cleaning truck, the new $5.5 million Bulls Creek Sewer Pump Station, an 18-inch force main, and $1.8 million in new water lines. And Gallatin's new stormwater utility is starting. Council has approved billing to begin in January of 2019. This brings dedicated staff to evaluate and address stormwater issues within our city, ultimately reducing the property damage and the nuisances from stormwater. And they were very, very busy today with lots of calls. The stormwater fee is going to be billed through your utility bill with an average cost of about $5 a month. This is a requirement of all cities who hold MS4 permits, and we're joining Portland, Goodlettsville, Hendersonville, Springfield, Nashville, and many other cities who are having to implement this at this time. Our Public Works Department is working hard too, like they always do, doing all the things that most people don't want to, things like road repairs, cleaning out stopped up ditches and drains, ice and snow removal, brush removal, trash pickup, and all of our city's vehicle maintenance. Important investments have been made here as well, particularly on the recycling efforts. This year we put our glass crusher to work, and we've recently obtained a cardboard baler. Both efforts to have recycling in our community make sense, both environmentally and financially. Infrastructure for access is a big focus moving forward. The City of Gallatin is adopting an ADA improvements plan that will make our sidewalks and buildings accessible for citizens with disabilities. This $5.5 million plan won't be executed as quickly as we would like, but it will happen in the coming years. Also for citizens, particularly our children with different abilities, we have a very large and very special projects in the works. Thanks to a $500,000 grant from the state of Tennessee, the generosity of All Access Coach Leasing and Good Old Homes and Communities, and many other wonderful donors, Gallatin's Miracle Complex is well on its way to becoming a reality. This exciting new venture will include a ball field, a playground, and a paddle park, all in a beautiful area within Triple Creek Park. Construction on the field will begin next year, and hopefully we'll have funding in place to proceed with the rest very soon. And though I failed to mention him when I started this evening, David Brown, our Parks and Recreation Director, is here this evening, and he will be happy to take your donations. Beautification is an important and still fairly new focus of our city staff and leadership. We're working on multiple fronts to improve our community aesthetics. This year, our Gallatin Beautiful Committee recognized 2 downtown businesses, Dairy Berries Heating and Air and Star Ranch, both of which made big investments in a part of town that needed a little love. And the end result was a whole section of our city that looks great. Our very own Alicia Welburn has done her part to add some beauty to our city. Her downtown street garden was actually featured this year on the popular Volunteer Gardener Show.
Hi, I'm the Flower Lady, and this is my downtown street garden. And everybody walks through here, goes to court, unhappy. So I decided to go in and ask Joey and his sister, what would you think about me planting flowers? And they said, sure. So I just got out my gooseneck hoe and some donated seeds and some of my own and went at it. And little by little, it's filled in. They'll look at the bees, the butterflies, and they smile. People are talking about Gallatin. What they say is we're not just the nicest town in America, we're the prettiest.
Alicia's also had a major role in the new Rosemont Garden and works on our city's pollinator efforts, our City Hall downtown and farmers market landscape, and is the expert on our beautiful downtown flower baskets, which, by the way, are going to be grown next year by our high school students from Gallatin and Station Camp High Schools, an initiative we're really excited about. Other beautification efforts include the addition of murals coming soon to Gallatin, courtesy of grant funding from the Tennessee Arts Commission, and multiple cleanups throughout the city, which, by the way, the next one is November 17th on Station Camp. Love to have you join us. We also had this fun art project to accent our city this year. The Gallatin High School Art Department turned one of our dumpsters into a work of art. Gallatin's history continues to be an important draw. In July of 2017, the historic Franklin House was moved across the railroad tracks to its new location on Long Hollow Pike. And while the expense of the renovation was more than we expected, we are proud that we have kept the 100-year-old house from being torn down. Engineer Nick Tuttle updates us on the progress.
And as you can see, the exterior has had a little bit of work done to it. There's still some more to be done, but along the perimeter, we had some issues with the old brick, the 100-year-old brick that was there. We were able to remove that, replace that brick, new mortar joint there. And now, of course, you can see the house is sitting on a brand new foundation. All right, so inside the house now, taking a look around, you can see all the drywall has been done. Right now we're working on trim, we're working on finishing. We've got some decisions to make on the hardwood flooring here, and hopefully we can retain some existing 100-year-old hardwood floor in here. So now we are in the basement of the house. The original house did not have a full basement, but as we moved it here to the new location, we decided to go with a full basement because we were going to have to excavate so much anyways. And this is actually the first time that I've been down here where we've had lights. So you get a good view of what's going on down here. Right now, still obviously in a phase of construction, but eventually this will become the home of our traffic signal control area. So yeah, we're on schedule to be in the building by the end of the year, and we're really excited about the opportunity. I know that this is going to be a building, a project that the city's going to be proud of for years to come.
In addition to the Franklin House, we also moved some brick over to historic Rosemont. We replaced the brick in the crosswalks on the city square with stamped concrete this year because the brick wasn't holding up to traffic. So Public Works came up with the idea that we move those bricks over to Rosemont and make a beautiful rose garden walkway.
And I'm out here working for the Gallatin Cemetery to map graves, marked and unmarked graves.
Also related to history, our Gallatin City Cemetery celebrated a big birthday this last year, and along with concerned citizens, we're working to preserve this local treasure. Our cemetery committee is forming Friends of the Historic Gallatin City Cemetery. Already we've made some plans and made some progress. This summer, thanks to a donation from Volunteer State Bank, we were able to use ground-penetrating radar to find unmarked graves in the African American section of the cemetery. Hundreds of graves were identified and marked with GPS to perpetually identify the location of these graves, many of which are the final resting place of our ancestors who were slaves. To raise awareness of the value of our cemetery, the first Decoration Day was held last spring, complete with bluegrass music and food. This December, we'll again host the Wreaths Across America event. We're committed to the work to preserve this important city landmark. And while not belonging to the city, the Palace Theater underwent an important renovation this year, a $40,000 facelift, re-energizing this very popular attraction in our historic downtown Gallatin and enhancing all that surrounds it. And that's not all. The Gallatin Fire Department's in the process of restoring its 133-year-old 1,000-pound bell, an initiative begun by some firefighters who loved this piece of history and wanted to make sure that future generations could hear it ring. Right now, it's in Cincinnati. It's being cleaned and restored. Retaining our character as an historic destination is so very important, and it's paying off. Coupled with the appeal of our recreational offerings, our special events, and the hard work of Sumner County tourism, our tourism numbers are better than ever. Currently, Sumner County is the 14th most popular destination in Tennessee, and our county reaped an impressive $3.42 million in tax revenue. Those numbers aren't by chance. They're the result of a lot of investment and hard work. Sumner County Tourism, Greater Gallatin, the Gallatin Chamber, along with other nonprofits, businesses, volunteers, and individuals have worked to create new and fun events, making Gallatin more attractive and more visible than ever before. And truly, there were too many wonderful events that happened in the last year to mention them all. But just to share a bit of the flavor of what we're offering, here are a few of the fun things that happened. Grit, Grace, and Grub, the Gallatin Chamber's replacement for Taste of Gallatin, launched. The third Thursday music event expanded to Thursdays on the Square with special offerings each Thursday night. And the Travel Channel was in Gallatin, thanks to our local ghost chasers, and broadcast live from our downtown Gallatin.
Hey guys, what's up? We're the TWC, your local ghost hunting boys right here in Gallatin, Tennessee. We want to thank you so much for letting us do an episode here at the Historic Palace Theater. And you can find us on social media at the Travel Channel, hashtag Haunted Live. Tune in every Friday night at 9 o'clock.
And those guys are local, and they have exposed us to hundreds of thousands of people around the world, so we're very grateful for their work. We're also doing some special things for our furry friends in Gallatin. This year we had our inaugural doggy paddle pool party, and this Saturday we'll have our first Gallatin Pawpalooza at Triple Creek Park. We're also excited that this year our dog park received a $25,000 grant.
Gallatin put in a great submission for a grant this year, and so I'm proud to say they won one of the first grants, a $25,000 grant to enhance the park. Lots of agility equipment and other fun things for the dogs to do, more benches and more shade. It'll make it from a really good park to a fantastic park.
Yeah, that's a good boy.
Several of our existing events in Gallatin have continued to grow. The Shamrock Run, the Main Street Festival and Square Fest, the 4th of July event, and even the recent cemetery tour, which this year more than doubled its typical attendance. Beyond that, there have been an abundance of new events in our parks, at Rosemont, at the Farmers Market, plus a myriad of walks, runs, bike races, car shows, festivals, fairs, pub crawls, parties, celebrations of history, children's events. And these are all things that are put on by individuals, nonprofits, schools, business owners, neighborhoods, and I think that our local Morningside probably has a special event about every month. Together, all of these things make our city so vibrant and rich, as there is truly something today for every person inside of Gallatin and outside of our city. Of course, this year we were really excited to step into something totally new, our very own music festival. Fire on the Water was a truly impressive event that we believe will be a signature event for Gallatin in the future, as there's nothing like it anywhere. We're looking forward to presenting it again in 2019 with plans that will make it even bigger and better. In addition to all the great stuff that's happening in Gallatin, our new brand has continued to be a positive force. It's helped change the perception of our city in our region and in our country. Others are saying we've done a great job too. Again this year, our Economic Development Agency received 2 awards for their ads, and we were recognized as a city by American City and County on the cover, no less, for our efforts. And while the nicest place in America was last year's news, we're still benefiting from that distinction. I'm honored to have judged this year's contest with Robin Roberts of Good Morning America, which triggered national publicity again on Gallatin's title this year. In fact, just this week when they announced the new winner, also from Tennessee. It's been a lot of fun to see the references to our nicest place designation everywhere, and it's certainly been a great promotional tool for our local businesses. Better communication remains a focus for our city, and we're not where we want to be, but we're getting better. Our new website is working well for us. Newsletters are helping, and our ever-increasing social media presence is making a difference in our citizens' level of awareness of what's here and what's happening. And while cat videos are still the rage on social media, we've learned that we too can draw some people. A great example was the popularity of our Gallatin Police Department's lip sync challenge, which was quite the epic performance.
We're so glad to see so many of you lovely people here tonight.
That video got over 70,000 views, and the amount of good publicity garnered was immeasurable. Special thanks to All Access Coach Leasing, who actually helped produce that video for the police department. I'd ask you to be sure to follow the City of Gallatin on Facebook and to help us spread the word so that more of our citizens can be engaged. I'd also ask that you check out this really cool portal on the City of Gallatin website that allows you to submit your interest in serving on boards and committees. We're always looking for residents who are willing to serve our city. And speaking of boards and committees, I'm thrilled that we were finally able to launch a youth council in 2018. I want to say a huge thank you to this group, but particularly to the young people here this evening. I'd ask Kirsten Malone-Black, Kaya Stamps, Ellie McNear, and Jackson Holloman to stand, please. Yay! And staff coordinator Tamika Strawther's sitting back there too. So Tamika works for the city and she leads this group, so thank you all. Extra special gratitude to Jackson Holloman. He's the young man who met with me and encouraged me to get this council started.
So I've always kind of been interested in politics and government, and I didn't really feel like there was a outlet for teenagers to like kind of get into it. Like there's no like club or after school program that you can go and learn about that type of stuff. So what better way than to just be involved?
And this group's level of input, energy, perspective, and enthusiasm is already proving valuable for Gallatin, and I think it will prove valuable for our future as well. Also related to youth this year was the inaugural Youth Job Fair that the city partnered with the Chamber and the American Job Center to present. This was a hit with hundreds of young people attending and finding jobs. Of course, a big part of our city and your experience with our city depends on our city employees. You know that we're in a very competitive job market, so recruiting and retaining good employees is harder and more important than ever. The City of Gallatin has more than 400 full-time employees and 160 seasonal employees. Leadership and employees throughout our city are focused on providing our customers with the best service that they possibly can, and they usually do hit the mark. Our council has been very supportive of improving our employees' benefits plan and several other opportunities to help our employees know that they are valued and appreciated. And I'll take personal privilege here and say that when I became mayor, I did not realize that one of the very best parts of my job would be the people that I get to work with. This city is fortunate to have an incredible level of talent and dedication. I see it every day in our employees of all levels and pay scales. So now we're going to talk about money. One of the best pieces of news, I think, for residents of Gallatin, your taxpayers, is that the City of Gallatin is in very sound financial shape. Our 2018-19 budget is just under $40 million. Certainly that's a record number for the City of Gallatin, but we're getting a lot done and making much progress in serving our citizens better. Our rainy day fund, which is a reserve that we're required to maintain by law, is just over $7 million, and we currently have an additional reserve of $5.3 million. That's a very healthy position for a city of our size. Our debt is currently at $22,700,000. We have a AA+ bond rating, and we have, in this past year, realized over $2.5 million in public utilities assets that were built by developers. We've also had many roads developed, and they have become a part of our city as well. Our property tax rate has remained at 99 cents for 12 years. I'm sure it's no surprise when you look at these tax numbers that our property tax and sales tax incomes have continued to increase, and we really want that sales tax number to keep growing because that's what's going to help keep your property tax burden low. Now I'm going to wrap up with what I think should be our most valuable accomplishment of this year. This effort to me is a game changer for the City of Gallatin because it takes innovations and best practices and focuses our efforts towards long-range goals. The City of Gallatin's brand new strategic plan is a plan to listen, lead, and deliver. The Greater Nashville Regional Council worked with our council, our department heads, and our community stakeholders to help us articulate our priorities and actions to achieve those priorities. Our vision is for big opportunities in our small city, ensuring that Gallatin is among the safest, smartest, and healthiest small cities in America. The values that we've committed to adhere to are embracing our character while investing in the future with kindness, faith, and integrity, honoring our roots while taking some risk for continued prosperity, and preparing for our future with tenacity, resilience, and visionary leadership. From that, the following goals were developed: visionary and engaged leadership, a resilient and diversified economy, purposeful and planned growth, connected and inclusive communities, and customer-focused government and investments. And we are working our plan. Each goal has strategic commitments, and we're currently working on our first year's action steps, which you see here. The City Council's already adopted this plan. We're looking forward to creating a community partnership network to work together to meet our city goals. Soon, you're going to see a citizen satisfaction survey so we can benchmark and address the concerns of our residents. And we've already launched our community engagement efforts to establish a long-term vision for our city's growth, which will be very important as we work on our new comprehensive plan. I hope that you'll take an opportunity and look through this plan. I actually saw some copies here tonight. But more importantly, oh, it's on our website, by the way, but probably more importantly at this point, I'd like you to participate in our community visioning. You may have met Kim Maltempo from GNRC when you came in this evening. She was taking some surveys, but you can also take that survey on plangallatin.com. Beyond that, you can encourage your friends and neighbors to do the same. And as we begin to work on our comprehensive plan update, I hope you'll stay involved. Come to our meetings. Help us plan for the Gallatin that we know will be dynamic, prosperous, kind, and unique. It's the kind of city we all want for our future generations. There is much more ahead for Gallatin. We have so many wonderful ideas, plans, and projects that we're working. Like what? I guess you're asking. Well, our city's engineering department and the Army Corps of Engineers know that I, for one, will jump for joy the day that we can announce that we have a plan for Nat Caldwell Park. Additionally, we continue to work on opportunities for more park amenities, including access and development to our property in the station camp area, plus a skate park and a lazy river to go with our awesome new pool. We're also trying to acquire new land that will preserve green space in our community. We continue to work to bring new events to our city. And while I can't say enough about how amazing our historic downtown squares become or adequately thank those who are responsible, we still want more for downtown and its periphery. And since this area was just designated as a federal government opportunity zone, we think that investment will come soon. There are always going to be the naysayers and the negative people. Just spend a minute on social media and you'll believe that our intentions are evil and self-serving and even illegal, and that we're ruining Gallatin. But those participating in our city, those in business, those who volunteer in our nonprofits or invest in Gallatin and its citizens in any way, understand and appreciate the transition that we've made. It's immensely satisfying to me and to our city leadership to see young people choose Gallatin, to have things here that our residents have things here for our residents to do, and to see our businesses thrive. But I do want to leave you today with a little bit of a laugh. It's for fun, but I bet it does answer some questions a few of you have probably asked. So I am so glad to present to you what I would like to call our top 10 myths about Gallatin as seen on social media featuring some of our city leadership.
Intersections with red light cameras have a shorter yellow time.
The city of Gallatin shut down Top Hog on Douglas Bend Road. That's a great job.
And yes, the city did approve the paint job for Chubb's.
Gallatin is actively recruiting banks, convenience stores, title loans, apartments, and tattoo parlors.
Nashville's James A. Casey homes are relocating to Gallatin.
The city of Gallatin wants to tear down the Sumner County Courthouse.
The pattern in the concrete on the greenway is a symbol of witchcraft.
The city of Gallatin does set CSX's train schedule.
Gallatin sanitation trucks are set to destroy all the trash cans so that we can increase our revenues.
The city of Gallatin paid for the title of nicest place in America?
And so I will follow that with my public service announcement for today, and that is to please call if you hear something and want to know if it's true. Because somehow when you ask a question on social media, it immediately transforms into a fact, right? And it's important to all of us to have accurate information about our city, and it's important for you not to be stressed. So please call us. I do want to thank all of you for being here this evening. You're interested, you care about our city, and you're invested in Gallatin. So on behalf of our council and our employees, thank you for your kindness, encouragement, and support of us. With you, we're an amazing Team Gallatin, and we work together. I always say that Gallatin is special because of the hearts and minds of those who love the city and invest in it. And you are those people. And your work is why we have the Gallatin that we have now. I'm so excited to continue this journey with you all, as I'm certain that Gallatin's future is more amazing than what we've seen so far. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for loving our city. Have a lovely evening, and God bless each of you today and all the days ahead.